We asked a number of our senior American mental health clinicians to discuss their professional working experience in New Zealand, plus the associated lifestyle factors they encountered. Here's what they had to say.
I think that's one of the just incredible things about living in New Zealand is it's just such a diverse, beautiful place. And you can go out in the ocean, take a cruise, go whale and dolphin watching, go out to some island where they're doing restoration of natural habitat and natural species. In Auckland, you can go up in the Sky Tower and be in sort of a downtown urban environment. You can go out to mountains and hills and so many different diverse things that you can travel to very, very
And that's just Saturday.
Yeah, right, that's just one day. I mean, that could be, right.
Yeah, it's just, the natural beauty here is unbelievable. I've traveled a lot, I know you guys have traveled a lot. There's nothing more beautiful than New Zealand, really. And the downside of that is that everybody I know in America has come to visit me this year.
That's true.
Right.
Next time I'm going to Goldsboro, where no one will come visit me. But it's so incredibly beautiful here. It's like, and Bill and I are living in on this place, this house that we live in with this deck that looks over the ocean, and it is so beautiful. And like every day I get up and just stare out at the ocean. Well, and you guys both live by the ocean as well.
Yeah, I live by the water too, and I try and go swimming almost every day. And I really enjoy it. I ride my bike to the ferry. I take the ferry across, and either there's a bus that goes straight from there to the hospital, or if I'm feeling energetic, I ride my bike up. I really enjoy it. It's definitely part of why we stayed here.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And combined with the attitude that the Kiwis have about, the way they feel about balancing work and family, and they also really value being outside. It's an incredibly sporty country with incredibly fit people. So there's all sorts of things to do. I ride my bike along the waterfront to catch the train and take the train the rest of the way to work, and it's such a great way to get to work.
My friends who are on career tracks in academic institutions are, get under pressure if they take, more a week or two of the vacation every year, whereas here it's just sort of expected.
Yeah.
Right, no, it's definitely expected.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny that you can take a ferry to work, or you can take a ferry to the vineyard and eat. Like, some of the best restaurants in New Zealand are at the different vineyards.
Yeah, and they have amazing views, and they serve you these gorgeous wines, and it's a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, my family's going to spend our 4-day Easter weekend on Waiheke at the vineyards, I'm sure. But yeah, and all over the country. So there's the South Island wines, and the Waiheke wines, and the North Island wines. And the restaurants are really good here. The seafood is amazing, the lamb, lots of good lamb.
The Asian food, I love Japanese food. And
there's lots
the
of great
range of
Japanese
Japanese
food.
restaurants.
Yes, they're everywhere, aren't they?
It's really amazing. The presentation is incredibly, the routine, sort of not expensive, dinner, everything comes in a boat or a little thing with little designs and flowers. And sushi, very elegant.
Yeah, Auckland is quite cosmopolitan, and there's everything you would want is here.
It's a very diverse place.
Yeah. Within context, Auckland is more similar to living in Boston or San Francisco.
Right.
In many ways, it's
Right.
it's because it's by the water.
But there are some fabulous things you can buy here. Like some of the art is amazing. There is
Yes.
some fabulous art here.
It's definitely true. But if you want to buy a pen or something, something that's imported, that you go to a Target or something.
Bring
and
your
buy a whole
pens with
box
you
of
when
them,
you
right?
come. Yeah.
Well, no, it's you're living in a city. It's and on a doctor's salary, honestly, it's not. You don't stress about things.
No.
But it's also, frankly, like working as a doctor in San Francisco or Boston. If you're not independently wealthy, you'll be living. And if anything, I live a better life here, living on the water, than I certainly could in San Francisco or Boston. The other aspect of it is that it is expensive, and there's some things that are just, we buy when we're in the U.S., like some electronics and things like that.
Yeah. And the reason most people come here, I think, is not to get rich necessarily, but because of the other quality of life factors. But it's worth looking at just it can cost a lot, the whole process of moving over here, whether it's short term or longer term, and you know, that's just paying money for things that you're like, oh my God, that's 3 or 4 times what I'd pay in the U.S. So it's kind of a shock sometimes. But the, you know, and then I tell myself the reason I'm here though is for all these other things: the cultural diversity, the quality of life, the, you know, nature. Yeah.
I don't think anyone moves here to get rich,
Right.
but it's a great lifestyle.
Yeah, the quality of, I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing that I want to do that I'm not able to do.
Right.
That's very true.
Everybody I know has been here,
Yeah.
stayed in my
To
house.
visit.
Yeah. Definitely. No, we get a constant. We're sort of looking at houses, and we went with one with 3 bedrooms because we knew that we would just need a guest room.
That's Hotel New Zealand here.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's actually fun though. I mean, it's I guess the hard thing is we can't take time off for everyone who comes, but we can usually squeeze in like a 3-day weekend or 2.5-day weekend, and you can get so many places, you know, within
So
a few
easily,
hours,
right.
that it's not like you know, someone coming to visit the U.S. and you live in the Midwest and you know you couldn't go to New York or L.A. or some
Right.
places, or Grand Canyon or things like that with them. Here, I mean, you can go to most places that you would want to go in a good chunk. Quite easily, which is really sort of fun. You can go skiing. I mean, I've my registrar, if the weather's looking good for the weekend, we'll just get a cheap fare and hop down for $50 or $100. If they can get a Super Saver, a special offer fare
To the South Island.
to the South
yeah.
Island and go skiing, and or they'll drive down to Ruapehu on the North Island.
Right.
During the ski season. A bunch of them will like rent a cabin
Yeah.
and go. So it's really nice.
Yeah, we've had a lot of friends and family visit us as well. So
It's nice.
it's a popular destination.
Well, you know what's
Yeah.
interesting? I mean, it is a very popular destination,
Yeah.
and it is a long way away
Mhm.
from everywhere. But everyone who arrives here says, "Wow, it was much easier traveling here than I thought it was going to be." You know, it's actually that flight from LA is not so bad, and you arrive here in Auckland, and it's not that hard to get here, really.
And New Zealand's a very nice trans-Pacific airline.
Yeah.
They and actually the one thing that I tell people is that to break up either the flight here or the flight back by stopping in Hawaii or Tahiti, because it's essentially free to do a stopover for a few days, and it doesn't add any real time, and it's sort of cool to stop in Tahiti on the way home. Stuff like that, and so a few people have done that, and they've really liked that actually.
Right.
Although for American, the biggest thing I find is that for Americans, they want to come over for like a week, including travel
Right.
time.
Right.
No, right.
Which
No.
is fine, but
Yeah.
you know, it does, even though
Mhm.
it's not a bad experience, it does take a day to get here and a day to get back, and that people try and cram a lot into 5 days.
Right. Like the Kiwis
They
would
don't get
never
that.
go
Yeah.
for a week. They don't
No.
get that. They say,
Yeah.
"Why aren't you staying longer?"
Yeah.
I tell people I'm taking a week off, and they say, only a week? Why only a week?
The other thing that is expected around here, I think, or one of the things I really like about New Zealand is how you end up doing things that you would never do at home because it's like such an adventure-focused culture around here. You know, before you know it, you're hang gliding or
I've not been
Bungee
to
jumping.
swimming, doing the race to Rangitoto. So Bill and I ran the duel a couple weeks ago. Did you guys know about the duel? It was the race across Rangitoto and Motatapu, the two volcanoes in the harbor.
Oh, yeah.
And so we woke up on the day of the duel and it was raining and blowing quite hard. And so I was thinking, you know, I'm an American, I'm going to stay home because the weather's foul.
Right.
And we called our Kiwi friend who's doing it with us, and she said, without irony, "Oh, well, I think unless the ferry might capsize, I would definitely go." And so Bill and I are like, "Oh man, she's shaming us. Okay, we're going." But so we went and ran that in the blowing rain. But if, you know, it's great. You have these experiences. You do things you wouldn't normally do. I mean, like when have I had the chance to run a race across a volcano in the harbor?
Yeah.